Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed, packed with surprising facts and just enough humor to keep you hooked.
Glad to be here.
Today we're plunging into a chilling crime, a narrative that starts as a seemingly straightforward bank robbery, but it rapidly unravels. It becomes this complex web of personal vendettas, family secrets, and some pretty intense psychological manipulation.
Yeah, it really pulls you in different directions.
Our mission for you today is to extract the core insights and, the surprising truths behind one detective's relentless pursuit of justice. And his methods, well, they're often pretty unconventional.
And this is a story that grabs you from the very first moment. Picture this. It's a Friday afternoon, 15.16, in Bogstadvian. The low October sun casts long shadows
Right.
as an old man shuffles past.
Right.
Harry, our detective, thinks he looks like an astronaut, sort of stiff movements.
Okay.
Then, at a predetermined moment, 15.21.7 to be exact, the bank doors swing open. A masked figure, boiler suit, AG-3 machine gun, steps right in. Silent alarm is tripped. Money's taken, a hostage is grabbed. It looks like a bank robbery, cold and precise. But then, this is the kicker. Against all logic, the robber delays his escape. Why? To murder a bank cashier, Steen Gret, in cold blood.
And that inexplicable act is the exact moment our protagonist, Inspector Harry Hole, steps into the spotlight. You might know Harry. He's a detective with a legendary, almost mythical reputation, brilliant at cutting through the noise, but also deeply flawed, haunted by personal demons, ghosts of past cases.
Yeah, he carries a lot of baggage.
Some in the force see him as a blot, But his superior, Bjorn Meller, respects his unique abilities. For Harry, this isn't just about the stolen 2 million kroner.
No way.
The senseless murder of Steen Gret immediately screams that something far darker, far more personal is at stake here.
And that's precisely the knot we're going to untangle for you. This deep dive will guide you through Harry's journey. We'll introduce the pivotal characters who shape his path, peel back these hidden layers of deceit, and explore the intricate psychological underpinnings of crime, motive, and justice.
Yeah, we'll explore the manipulations, the surprising turns. It all leads to a truly shocking truth about, well, human nature.
Definitely.
Okay, let's unpack this. The initial scene at the bank, as you can imagine, was defined by the expediters' chilling precision. They moved with an almost pre-programmed certainty, collected the money in just over a minute.
Exactly. But it was that inexplicable murder of Steen Gret that set Harry's internal alarm bells ringing. Why take a life when the objective was clearly money? It just defied all conventional criminal logic.
Right. No sense to it on the surface.
And the robber's tactics were astonishingly meticulous. The getaway car, strategically placed around the corner, out of immediate camera view.
Smart.
And they even used a green skip outside of 7-Eleven as a lookout point. Cleverly positioned to hide the robber from cameras, and also to sort of bypass people's direct line of sight, their cerebral cortex, as Harry thinks of it.
So make them forget they even saw anything, clearly.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Make it hard to form a lasting impression.
So, with the scene set, Harry begins assembling his team, and this is where we immediately see a fascinating clash of investigative styles, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
You've got Harry Hole, lone from serious crime. He's always asking why, always digging for the motive sometimes, sometimes annoying his colleagues. He's got this natural paranoia about them, an instinct that, often serves them well.
Absolutely. And standing in stark contrast is Rune Iverson, the head of the robberies unit. He's very traditional, very by the book, obsessed with clearance rates, established procedure.
Right, the numbers guy.
Totally. He openly dismisses Harry's unconventional methods. He believes bank robbers are creatures of habit. They just repeat what they did on the previously successful occasion. It's a very pragmatic view, maybe a bit cynical.
Perhaps. But then there's a truly extraordinary addition to the team. Beate Lønn, a young policewoman whose abilities are, well, they're remarkable.
She's incredible. She possesses this rare neurological anomaly. Her fusiform gyrus is essentially a walking archive of faces.
A walking archive.
Yeah, she can recall hundreds and thousands of human faces, even people she saw 15 years ago.
Wow. So how does this manifest in the investigation? What can she do?
It's a total game changer. Beate can spot subtle video editing flaws nobody else would catch, like a red Mazda appearing in 2 places at once because the time code was messed with.
Ah, okay.
Her memory is so precise she can see inconsistencies in how people move, how shadows fall. It makes her invaluable, especially when you're dealing with meticulously planned crimes and potential, cover-ups.
Right. Rounding out Harry's orbit, we have Weber, the experienced forensic investigator, analytical, quiet. The chief superintendent calls him a tracker dog.
He's crucial for the painstaking stuff, yeah. Fingerprints, DNA analysis,
Yeah.
the details.
And then there's Halverson, Harry's loyal, if sometimes less perceptive colleague. He often finds himself just trying to keep up with Harry's unpredictable leads.
Poor Helverton.
Early on, they found small textile fibers at the scene. A tiny clue feels insignificant at first, but in Harry's world, no detail is ever truly insignificant, is it?
Never. Which brings us to a critical dimension of this case, Harry's own haunting past. While the physical evidence is scant, Harry often finds his real leads in unexpected places like his own emotional landscape.
Right.
And in this case, it's his deep personal connection to Anna Bethson, his ex-lover, that truly opens up a new, unsettling dimension to the mystery. Her apparent suicide deeply affects him. It's described as feeling almost like whiskey, intoxicating, painful, dangerously alluring.
It's not just the emotional connection, is it? The circumstances around Anna's death immediately felt not quite right to Harry. The police ruled it a suicide. She shot herself.
Which they called a masculine suicide, yeah. Highly unusual for a woman, statistically.
Yeah.
And that classification, that detail, it just grated on Harry, made him suspicious.
Why specifically? What about her made it seem wrong?
It just defied his understanding of her. Anna was an artist. Her flat reflected her unconventional spirit, sprawling high ceilings, these striking blue walls now, and this incredible bed from her grandmother carved with imps and open-mouthed demons.
Okay, quite the image.
Her art, too, these distorted portraits of men in her life. Harry was in one, actually, along with Arne Elbu, Elf Gunnerid, Perstol Lunning, even the locksmith. And then tiny details. She was left-handed, and she really disliked syringes. These weren't just quirks. They felt like vital puzzle pieces to Harry. Something wasn't adding up.
And Harry's suspicions are quickly reinforced by discoveries linked to Anna's married lover, Arne Elbu, right? This AA key turns up in Albu's chalet, identical to Anna's third key.
Exactly. And the locksmith later confirms this odd person was behind the counter when that specific key was made. Then, a photograph is found tucked in Anna's shoe, taken directly from Albu's photo album at the chalet.
It's almost like someone is deliberately leaving a trail, pointing fingers.
Precisely. And the plot thickens when Harry confronts Albu. Albu promptly sends him these emails from an encrypted server, using a program to send timed messages. It feels like a clear attempt to frame someone, or at least mislead Harry.
And then we meet Vig Disalbu, Arne's calculating wife. Her own carefully planned life starts to unravel amidst these revelations. It hints at a much larger, more manipulative game being played.
Yeah, she adds another layer of complexity, definitely.
This brings us to a really fascinating aspect of the story. The psychological theories Harry often turns to. He frequently seeks out Ong, a philosopher and psychologist, who acts as his confidant.
On's insights are often profoundly unsettling. His theories on suicide, for instance. He notes the most common cause is simply didn't want to live any longer. Stark.
But it's On's concept of pre-programming that offers a chilling new lens for the bank robbery and murder. Can you explain that?
Sure. Pre-programming, as On defines it, is this idea that the brain can be conditioned, almost like programmed to follow predetermined roles, even to commit extreme acts like murder, almost unaffected by external things, like turning people into living robots.
Living robots? That's disturbing.
It is. The most unsettling part. Theoretically, there's usually an escape button or a password that can break this trance, snap them out of it.
So how does this apply to the expediter?
Well, it immediately provides a terrifying possible explanation for that seemingly unnecessary shooting of Steingret. Was she murdered because she recognized the robber? Did that recognition trigger a pre-programmed command? Maybe something about the branch manager being slow set it off? It adds this layer of cold, calculated intent.
And On pushes this even further, right? About manipulation.
Yeah, he talks about how a good manipulator can make you believe that the edge of a 100-kroner note is the edge of a knife. It's about distorting reality, creating false perceptions that compel actions.
So the crime itself might be a performance, an illusion.
That's the idea. It starts connecting these seemingly unrelated threads, suggesting a deeper level of psychological control at play.
Which brings us to a truly pivotal and deeply disturbing character, Raskol Backset. Harry visits him in prison, calls him the king of the sewer rats.
Yeah, Raskol is this strategic, manipulative figure who holds crucial, if maybe veiled, information. He's an expert on dye cartridges in banknotes.
Dye cartridges.
Yeah, those things that release invisible ink when they're triggered. It becomes visible, stains everything, money, skin, clothes permanently. Impossible to remove. Knowing about that tells you he's intimately familiar with the mechanics of bank robbery.
But the truly shocking revelation from Raskol connects directly to Harry's personal anguish, doesn't it?
It does. It turns out Raskol is Anna Bethson's biological father.
Mm.
His brother, Stefan, was her legal father.
Wow. Okay, that adds an intensely personal layer, like a Greek tragedy kind of thing.
Absolutely. It completely blurs the lines between Harry's professional case and his private torment. Raskol's initial kind of unexpected trust in Harry. It's linked to a gypsy custom, the patron.
A patron.
It's like a signpost left by traveling gypsies. A photograph signifies someone has died or will die. Apparently, gypsies have a strained relationship with death, giving Raskol's actions this deeper, almost ritualistic meaning.
And the connections keep getting deeper, hitting Beate Lønn particularly hard.
Devastatingly hard. Raskol is connected to Beate's own father's death. During a bank robbery years ago, Raskol shot him. 6 shots in his chest.
Oh my God, for Beate. That must be unbearable.
Completely. And it's here that Lønn's theory about penance versus revenge comes back. He suggests Raskol's long imprisonment might be a self-imposed penance for a monstrous crime, not just getting caught. It makes you think, how do you reconcile justice with atonement?
Deep questions. So as the investigation twists and turns, we get more misdirection, more red herrings. Initially, Raskol points Harry towards Lev Gret, right? Tron's brother.
Yeah, Lev Gret, a legendary but missing bank robber, known for being wicked as a kid, putting a stick in someone's eye socket, loosening a footbridge grid, nasty stuff. And Lev's apparent suicide just complicates things further, creates a convenient scapegoat.
And through all of this, there's the constant, unsettling presence of Tom Whaler, the ambitious, possibly corrupt internal affairs inspector.
Whaler. Yeah, he consistently obstructs Harry's investigation. He even kills Alf Gunnerud, the locksmith, under very suspicious circumstances down at the container terminal.
And he tries to frame Harry.
Oh, yeah. Plants the AA key, sets up those timed emails. His past actions, like shooting that neo-Nazi Sverre Olsen, it raises disturbing questions about a pattern. Is he upholding justice or operating outside it?
So with all these twists, Whaler interfering, Raskol's revelations, Lev's supposed suicide, what was the truth? Who was the expediter?
The true expediter, in a shocker of a turn, was revealed to be Steingret's own husband, Tron Gret. The quiet accountant, the one dismissed early on as just having bad nerves.
Her husband? No way.
Yes. And this is where the story truly reveals the insidious nature of domestic betrayal, how it can fester into calculated, cold-blooded violence, completely defying typical criminal profiling.
That's incredible. What does this tell us about the hidden motivations? Why would he do it?
It speaks to a deep, personal kind of betrayal. Stein was leaving Tron for his brother, Lev.
For his brother. Oh, wow.
Tron's jealousy, his feeling of utter betrayal, it was overwhelming. He felt she deserved it for abandoning him after he felt he had given her everything. It wasn't about the money at all. It was about control, about a twisted sense of justice for this deep personal wound.
And his plan to frame Lev, his own brother, that was incredibly intricate.
Masterfully so. He used Lev's red jacket. He scribbled "a wonderful day" in a notepad at the hospital, deliberately mimicking Lev's handwriting from old-school essays, planting it as a suicide note, a chilling confession hidden in plain sight.
That's cold.
Colder still, he contracted a hitman in São Paulo to kill Lev, withdrew 30,000 kroner for the job. And to mislead the police, he intentionally provided volunteer information about seeing a man in a boiler suit with "Politi" on it, pretending he didn't know what it meant, making himself seem credible while steering them completely wrong.
And the unnecessary murder of Stein, how did that fit his calculated scheme?
That was the final, brutal piece. Lev had actually come back to Oslo. He was going to take Stein to Brazil. Tron knew Stein would recognize him during the robbery. In his mind, from that moment, she was doomed. He used her as a hostage, ensuring she was the one caught in the crossfire, and then killed her. Not as part of the robbery, but as this chilling final act of ultimate revenge and control. Deeply personal.
The story culminates in an intense final confrontation. Harry directly confronts Tron Gret, who, predictably, takes Beate hostage.
Right, and in that moment, Harry experiences this liberating feeling like he has nothing to lose.
What does that desperation drive him to do?
It drives him to an almost unthinkable act of self-sacrifice. He makes this dramatic decision. He shoots himself in the arm.
Shoots himself.
Yeah. It's calculated, desperate, designed purely to distract Tron, create an opening. It leads to this chaotic but finally clear revelation of the truth in front of the whole police team. It's just pure Harry, committed to justice, whatever the personal cost.
So after all that, was justice truly served? Harry's report ultimately confirms Trongret as the murderer. Beate's insights were crucial, right? Spotting the handwriting mimicry.
Absolutely. Her insights, plus Harry's evidence like the fingerprints on a Coke bottle Tron drank from at the scene, it all points to Tron.
And Harry's superior, Mueller, he supports Harry's unconventional methods, even the bending rules, the Brazil trip without telling local police in exchange for keeping things within the force. What does that say about this system?
Well, it speaks to a pragmatic view, maybe even cynical. Mueller recognizes Harry gets results, even if his methods skirt the edges. It's a trade-off. Let Harry do his thing, keep it quiet, and the force gets the win, preserving its own internal solidarity. Less about strict rules, more about the outcome.
Makes sense, in a way. And for Beate, this whole thing is also a profound personal journey. She has to process her own father's murder and Raskol's role. How does she navigate that?
It's truly transformative for her. Through On's insights on penance versus revenge and just her own relentless pursuit of the truth, she slowly begins to understand, process, and maybe let go of some of that rage.
Good for her.
We see her grow massively as an investigator.
Yeah.
And she even starts developing a deeper relationship with Halverson, finding a path forward from immense trauma. Her strength is really remarkable.
But the cost of this truth, for Harry himself, is incredibly high. He's left physically and emotionally ravaged, stinking of vomit, battling a sledgehammer headache. His struggle with alcohol continues. It's the darkness he immerses himself in.
Yeah, it takes a huge toll.
And then there's Tom Whaler. What becomes of the ambitious, manipulative internal affairs inspector?
Whaler's outcome is maybe the most unsettling loose end. He gets suspended, but then despite everything his suspicious actions trying to frame Harry, he's cleared by CIFO, the Independent Police Authority.
Cleared after all that.
Cleared. It highlights that darker side of the police force, that solidarity that often prevents grasping on one's own. It allows someone like Whaler to evade real accountability. He remains ambitious, poised for a glittering career, leaves a really uncomfortable shadow over institutional justice.
So what does this entire deep dive into Nemesis ultimately mean for you, the listener? We've seen how this narrative illuminates the huge power of motive, stretching far beyond just money. It exposes the complex psychological depths of criminals, victims, and the extraordinary human capacity for both profound deception and relentless truth-seeking.
We've witnessed the interplay between Nemesis, that cold-blooded vengeance, and Justitia, the ideal of blind justice. But this story forces us to ask, does justice, even when served, always make things whole again? Can it truly heal the wounds inflicted?
And as you reflect on this intricate tapestry of crime and consequence, we leave you with one final provocative thought, drawing on Allen's concept of pre-programming. Consider this idea in your own life. How much of what you do is truly free will, and how much is influenced by hidden patterns, past experiences, maybe even the expectations of others?
Right. How much do we pre-program our own realities, and what happens when those programs break down? Is there always an escape button, a moment of conscious choice that can shatter a predetermined path?
Something to chew on.